ராம் ராம். குவிக்காக நம்ம ஒரு விஷயம் பார்த்துருவோம். I've already mentioned this in my previous video. எந்த வீடியோன்னு we have to go back and see. அதில் லேಖன நியமகான்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது. when to use அனுஸ்வாரம் and when to use a makara with a halanta அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கொடுத்த ஞாபகம் எனக்கு இருக்குது. I remember doing that. But it should be in lesson number 2 in Pravesha book. It might not be in the same order that I am telling, but it will definitely be there in Pravesha book. So, Lekhana Niyamaha will be the heading where it says the rules of writing an Anuswaram. That when an Anuswaram is followed by, Griham Agachati abdinu irukku. The sentence is Griham Agachati abdinu irukku. Now here, when do I write full makara with a halanta? When do I use it as a anuswaram? Abdinda we are trying to learn here. What are the rules pertaining to it? So when in a sentence, griham agachati, when the anuswaram, when the makara is followed by, when this anuswaram is followed by a vowel, then this is written fully. The makara that we choose to write is this makara because it is followed by a swara. Because imma plus a, what will happen? It is not sandhi, it is just gunita series. Like how we saw, right? Ik illadu, k, g, g, g. Irukliya. All of these go and combine with swaras to make the gunita series. Kakka, kiki, kuku. So that's all. Here im plus a, swara makes it ma. Because there is an opportunity for it to become ma. So how will it become if I write without separating it? Grihamagachati. Abdinu எழுத முடியும். This is how we will write. So here they say that if the makara is followed by a swara, then write it fully with the halanta like this. Now if it is not followed by a swara, is understood. If it is not followed by a swara, another consonant is sitting there, then we have the power to write anuswara. The binduva எழுதுறதுக்கு adhikaram is there. Griham can be written like this. And then when a sentence, in a sentence, இப்ப பார்த்த sentenceலயே gachati grihamnu, griham is the last word in the sentence. At that time we should write the makara fully. We should not write anuswara. After that there is no other word in the sentence. That's the last word. Then we choose to write this. So we write this form, makara with a halanta when it is followed by a swara and if it is at the end of a sentence, if that is the last word in the sentence. If it is followed by any other consonant, vyanjana, then we have the adhikaram to write anuswara. And remember, only makara has the adhikaram to be written as an anuswara, no other. அப்படிங்கிற அந்த லேಖன நியமா, throughout the book they have followed this. In Pravesha book itself, they have followed this niyama throughout. So that is there. This lekhana niyama I have already taught, but I just went over it. Then under visheshaha in third lesson, it should be third lesson, under the vishesha heading, they have given parasmaipadi atmanepadi cha, which I have already taught. What are they saying there? A verb root is called dhatu. Verb root, kriyapadam is called a dhatu, from where it is derived. But gachati is there, a verb gachati, to go, is there. What is the root word? Abdinaka dhatu enna. What is the dhatu? Gam gach, to go. Abdingar. Adhe maradam pathati, pathu, to read. That is the root word. And they are classified into 3 types: parasmaipadi, atmanepadi, ubhayapadi. They have given all these details there. How it is conjugated. 3 purushas, 3 vachanam, 10 lakaras are there. What is ubhayapadi? They have given. Then they have told that we cannot conjugate parasmaipadi verbs into atmanepadi verbs and vice versa. Atmanepadi verbs, adadu vandate, vandete, vandante, we saw yesterday, in the yesterday's audio, in the previous audio. So like that we cannot conjugate it in vandati. Abdin parasmaipadila we cannot. That details have been given there. Now we did in the previous video, in a dvitiya vibhakti we did. Dvitiya vibhakti porthukku munnadi, before we go there, here are a few sentences just to brush up our prathama vibhakti. Prathama vibhakti denotes what? Karta, subject yaran. Now here dash pibati is there. There is nothing else in the sentence. All I have written is a subject and a verb. So dash pibati, pib, to drink. Dash pibati, in the bracket bhagini is there. Then Prathama Vibhakti. Pibati அப்படின்னாக்கா ஏகவச்சனம். Only one number, one person, which is Bhagini they have given. So what is the Prathama Vibhakti ஏகவச்சனம் அப்படின்னு நம்ம திங்க் பண்ணணும். Bhagini தான். Bhagini Pibati. If it was Pibanti, then Prathama Vibhakti Bahuvachanam, plural I have to think and write. Bhagini, Bhaginyau, Bhaginyah. Bhaginyah Pibanti அப்படின்னு வரும். Okay. Now here dash Upavishati. Bracket la Chhatra அப்படின்னு கொடுத்திருக்கு. Chhatra shabda. That is sounding like Rama. Akaranta. So what is the Prathama Vibhakti? Upavishati. Upavishu to sit. So Upavishati. Chhatra naka student. The student sits. அப்படின்னாக்கா Upavishati. Ending பார்க்கணும்னு I have told. In all this. Ti, taha, anti will be there. So that means only one person is sitting. Chhatra அப்படின்னாக்கா Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. So Akaranta Pullinga Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachanam. So Chhatraha Upavishati. The student sits. Upavishanti irundana Chhatraha. Chhatraha, Chhatrau, Chhatraha. Upavishataha. Chhatrau, Chhatraha, Chhatrau. Two students are sitting. Now next is dash Tishtati. Tishthu to stand. Acharya, the teacher stands. Then what is it? Acharya. Rama shabda mari irukku. So Ramaha, Ramau, Ramaha. Acharya Tishtati da irukku. Ekavachanam. The verb always has to agree with the subject. So Acharya Tishtati. We are seeing only Prathama Vibhakti. Here Bhagini shabdam is like Gauri shabdam, Nadi shabdam. Edadu one, we should know at least one Ikaranta Strilinga. So it will follow that pattern. Here dash Vikasanti. Listen to the verb. Vikasanti Bahuvachanam. So the subject also has to be plural. Bahuvachanam. Vikasanti means blooms. What blooms? Flower. Pushpam they have given in the bracket. Pushpam Vikasanti Varuma. No. Pushpam is only singular. Vikasanti verb says many are blooming. So Pushpam. What shabda is it? Phalam, phale, phalani. Phalani, sorry. So Pushpam, Pushpe, Pushpani. So Pushpani Vikasanti. Many flowers. Vikasanti irkardhanala. Next is dash Patanti. Patu to fall. Patram, leaf. The leaf falls. Patanti, Bahuvachanam. So same. Pushpani, inga Patrani. Patrani, Patanti. The leaves fall. Abdinu varum. Dash Khadanti. Balikan irukku. Akaranta Strilinga. Khadanti, khadu to eat. The girls eat. Abdinu irukku. So Balika shabda is like Rama, Lata, Mala. So Rama, Rame, Ramaha. Balika, Balike, Balikaha. So Balikaha is the answer. So the verb has to agree with the subject. Adanalla nyamachukunu. So watch the verb. That way we know what correct subject to pick. Prathama Vibhakti lenda we should pick Ekavachanam, Dvivachanam or Bahuvachanam, depends on what verb it is. Verb always agrees with the subject. This is Prathama Vibhakti. Few examples I have given here, whatever we have learnt so far. So Prathama Vibhakti denotes the Karta. Whoever is the subject, it denotes. Whoever is doing the verb action. Verb yaar pandrangarada Karta is denoted by Prathama Vibhakti. Then we saw in the previous video, Dvitiya Vibhakti ஆரம்பிச்சோம். Dvitiya Vibhakti na enna? Just as how Prathama Vibhakti denotes the Karta, Dvitiya Vibhakti denotes the Karma Padam in a sentence. For example, enna? Ganeshaha Khadati. Now we are going to learn something new and then we will go into Dvitiya Vibhakti. We will brush through Dvitiya Vibhakti again. Ganeshaha Khadati. Now there is a subject, there is a verb here. SV. Subject, verb. Now the question I am asking is Kim Khadati. I am questioning the verb. What is he eating? Kim Khadati, Kim Pathati, Kim Likhati, Kim Vadati. இந்த மாதிரி கேட்குறேன் அப்படின்னாக்கா Kim Khadati, when I ask, we will get an answer. If we get an answer, right? What is he eating? Bhojanam Khadati. Modakam Khadati. Phalam Khadati. We can keep saying. So we are getting an answer. So this verb is called a sakarmaka dhatu. Sakarmaka dhatu. Karmaudan koodiya verb. The verb is along with a karma padam. Abdina artham. Sakarmaka na karma sahitam. Sakarmaka. Because when I question the verb, I am able to get an answer. I am able to derive an answer which is in Dvitiya Vibhakti. I am able to derive a karma padam from Dvitiya Vibhakti. So that dhatu gave me an answer when I questioned it. So it is called as sakarmaka dhatu. Now, similarly, Ishwaraha pathati irukku. Ishwaraha pathati. Ishwaraha, again I am questioning. Ishwaraha kim pathati? Abdini kekaren. I am questioning the verb. When I question, I will get an answer. Ramayanam pathati. Mahabharatam pathati. அதே மாதிரி பாடம் படதி பாடான் படதி உபனிஷதம் படதி எது வேணா சொல்லலாம் வேதம் படதி எது சொன்னாலும் whatever I am able to get an answer when I question the verb. Then படதி is a sakarmaka verb because it is along with a karma padam. It is able to give me an answer. Karma padam is derived by questioning the verb. Right. The sakarmaka akarmaka dhatu information is given in lesson 4 in Pravesha book where it says, the heading says verb. Abdin kriya padamnu kuduthu adadila they have discussed what is sakarmaka akarmaka dhatu abdin. So sakarmaka na when we question the verb kim pathati patham pathati, there is an answer. When we get an answer for the question, then those verbs are sakarmaka dhatu, karma sahitam. They are along with the karma padam. We are able to derive an answer. So these dhatus are sakarmaka. Okay, like kim pibhati, what does he drink? Jalam pibhati, we can say jalam. We are getting an answer. Kim vadati, abna vakyam vadati, shlokam vadati. We are able to give an answer. That is taken from Dvitiya Vibhakti. So karma padam is derived. So those verbs where when we question kim yachati, danam yachati, kim likhati, chitram likhati, we are able to give an answer when we question the verb. So those dhatus, kriya padams are called sakarmaka dhatu abdine. What is akarmaka abdinaka? Ipo namba dharma, na dharma adharma, na nyaya anyaya abdin solra mari, na karma padam akarma abdingarada. Akarmaka dhatu, where when we question the verb kim tishtati, kim hasati, what does he laugh, what does he stand, what does he sit, abdingaradakla there is no karma padam will not come. There is no answer to it. So we cannot derive a karma padam. So those verbs are called akarmaka dhatu. In English we say transitive and intransitive verbs. Other than they are explaining here. Now after saying this, there is an exception to this rule. Gacchati abdinu oru verb irukku. Gamal gacchu, to go. Adu vandu even though when we question the verb, what does he go abdinu nama kettu, it doesn't make sense. What does he go cannot make a sense. Especially English la adu romba, it is very foreign to Sanskrit. It will not complement. But anga apdi oru kelvi kekrom. Now here we ask saha kutra gacchati abdinu kekrom. There is a sentence called saha kutra gacchati. Where does he go or what does he go? When we ask saha griham gacchati abdingra answer is derived from Dvitiya Vibhakti. So they are saying gama gacchu, to go, is an exception to this rule. Although it looks like an akarmaka dhatu, no, it is an exception. Gama gacchu, to go, is a sakarmaka dhatu because when we question saha kim gacchati illa saha kutra gacchati abdinu, if we ask, there is an answer. That answer is derived from Dvitiya Vibhakti. Karma padam is derived. So gama gacchu, to go, is an akarmaka dhatu abdinu on the page la kuduthirukka. Not only that, they have discussed prayogaha nu heading will be there. Idella lesson 4 la enakku irukku. In whatever book Pravesha now new publication has come means you have to look, just search and look, but it will be there. Prayogaha is the heading. Prayogaha is what? Voices. Active voice, passive voice we say, no? In Sanskritam there are 3 voices. Kartari prayoga, karmani prayoga and bhave prayoga. In Pravesha level, in this level, they will do only kartari prayoga. That is what they have given under that heading, prayogaha, discussing what is kartari prayoga. This already I have discussed, but I am going over it again. Kartari prayoga is where the karta is more dominant. Avanukku importance. So here, what are the rules pertaining to kartari prayoga they have given. So the kartri padam is always from prathama vibhakti. Karma padam is always from Dvitiya Vibhakti. And the verb is always in agreement with the subject. இதை நான் ஒரு 1000 தடவை சொல்லிட்டேன். ஸோ இப்போ already I have done this. I'm going over it again. Balaha pathati. The boy reads. Pathati, singular. Balaha, singular. Subject, verb. Balaha kim pathati? Patham pathati. So pathati is a sakarmaka dhatu. So patham pathati. சொல்றோம் இல்லையா? இப்போ whatever karma padam number changes. Now I say pathan pathati. It will still be pathati because it will only look at the subject. Verb will be caring only about the subject. If the subject's number change, I will change. That's all. So this can be plural, dual, singular. That doesn't matter. Only verb will look only at the subject. Okay, now balaha pathanti is there. Patham is there. It is singular. It doesn't affect it at all. It doesn't get affected. Pathanti will look at balaha. Oh, plural. I will also be plural. That's what they have given there. Okay. So that is what has been covered so far. Ipo there are rules pertaining to Dvitiya Vibhakti. Extra rules. Adi enna konja paapom. In lesson 5 in Pravesha book, rules pertaining to Dvitiya Vibhakti abdingra heading adila they would have given some rules. We will not go over all the rules today because we have not covered other vibhaktis that they are discussing under that heading. So we will take what is required now, but we will revisit it when we finish all the vibhaktis. Seriya? So another rules pertaining to accusative case abdina heading irukum. This is there in lesson number 5. Konjam if you brush through, even if the lesson number varies, it will still be there in the book. Right? So Dvitiya Vibhakti nam enna paathom? Karma padam. It denotes the karma padam nu paathom. Preposition. To, towards ngra artham it will give. The prepositions to and towards is what is along with Dvitiya Vibhakti. Dvitiya Vibhakti gives the prepositional meaning to and towards. Now there are a set of avyayas. Avyayas naka, they are not declinables. Ipo Rama Shabdan if we take, we have 7 vibhaktis. We are able to bring it down in 7 vibhaktis, case endings. But these words, avyayas nu peru na vyeti abdinaka, they cannot be declined. Adhaadu prati will be as prati itself. There is no Rama Shabda mari Ramah Ramau Ramaha adu mari pratihi prati pratayaha appilla varadu. It cannot be declined. Shabda roopathla it will not come. They remain as prati, remains as prati itself. Abhitaha only. Vina only. There is no change in their roopam. They cannot take different forms in different case endings. Vibhaktis like Rama Shabda or any other Nadi Shabda, Gauri Shabda, and the Mari it will not take any Shabda Roopam. That is why they are called indeclinables or otherwise known in Sanskrit as Avyaya Abdina. So these are the Avyayas. For each Vibhakti there are a set of Avyayas that go with that particular Vibhakti. So Dvitiya Vibhakti we covered in the previous video. So what are the Avyayas that go with Dvitiya Vibhakti abdinaka? These are the Avyayas. Prati, Abhitaha, Paritaha, Ubhayataha, Vina. Whenever they are used, Dvitiya Vibhakti irundadunaka, idallam da use pananum. We have to use this with Dvitiya Vibhakti only. So Prati abdingaradu enna? That means towards. Already Dvitiya Vibhakti means, the prepositional meaning that Dvitiya Vibhakti gives is to, towards already. So for example, Krishna illa Rama nu eduthukom. Rama gacchati. Rama kutra gacchati? When I question, I am able to get an answer. Rama griham gacchati. That's why gacchati is an exception. It is a sakarmaka dhatu. So Rama griham gacchati. Already this means Rama is going to her home. Rama is going home. Abdingaradam. That is to home. She is going to the house. Rama griham prati gacchati. I will add this prati here. Why should we add? Naka avyayas are available, so we should make use of them. So Rama griham prati gacchati. Already griham means to home. Adding prati, we should not say to, towards home. That's not the meaning. It just emphasizes or supports the meaning more, saying Rama griham prati gacchati. Tamilla வீட்டை நோக்கி செல்கிறான் அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அததான், that is the meaning. Going towards her house. She is going towards her house அப்படிங்கிற. இப்போ ராமஹ கச்சதி. रामः कुत्र गच्छति? रामः वनं गच्छति. रामः अयोध्यां गच्छति. अयोध्या शब्द अयोध्यां will be the द्वितीया विभक्ति. अयोध्यां गच्छति அப்படினாக்கா अयोध्यां प्रति गच्छति रामः அப்படிங்கிறது. இன்னொரு beautiful thing in Sanskrit is we can arrange, அதாவது verb can be in the first, gachati. We can start the sentence with a verb. Ramah subject can be in the middle. Then it can be Ayodhyam prati gach. But prati will be along with Dvitiya Bhakti. Ayodhyam prati gachati. Ayodhyam. அப்படின்னு இருக்கு. Gachati Ramah Ayodhyam prati. However I arrange it, still the sense is Rama goes towards Ayodhya. In English we cannot do like that. Goes. Rama. Ayodhya. Towards. We cannot. But in Sanskrit, that's why it's called Samyak Kritam Sanskritam. It is most refined language. No other perfection is needed. It's already perfect. So, however we arrange, the sense, the meaning is Rama goes towards Ayodhya. So, Ayodhyam prati. This prati is used along with Dvitiya Vibhakti. Ipa abhitaha paritaha, same meaning. Surrounded, around. Abdina artham. विद्यालयं परितः वृक्षाः सन्ति. Santi belongs to as dhatu. As to be. Asti stah santi அப்படின்னு வரும் அந்த verb. Asti சொன்னதனால astikas. Nastin சொன்னா nastikas. So na asti nasti nastikas. So santi அந்த verbல இருந்து வர plural is santi. Asti stah santi. Vrikshaha santi. The trees are there. Vidyalayam paritaha, around the vidyalaya. So paritaha is along with the Dvitiya Vibhakti here. So paritaha, abhitaha, ubhayataha is on two sides. Vrikshaha vidyalayam ubhayataha santi. அப்படின்னாக்க on two sides of the vidyalaya trees are there. So, whenever we see prati, abhitaha, paritaha, ubhayataha, that means a Dvitiya Vibhakti is sitting in the sentence. And vina, I am telling vina separately because vina means without. Abdina artham. Jalam vina meenaha na jivanti. Meenaha na jivanti. Subject is there, verb is there. Meenaha plural, jivanti is plural. Na jivanti. The fishes do not live. Jalam vina, without what? Jalam vina. Ipa jalam is from Dvitiya Vibhakti. Without water. This vina alone will be used in second Vibhakti, third Vibhakti and fifth Vibhakti. Which we will see as we cover those Vibhaktis also. So vina alone can be used in three Vibhaktis. The abhyaya vina, without abdingarad. So here I can say jalam vina, jalena vina, jalat vina. Which we will, as we go to those Vibhaktis that we have not seen, the third and fifth, we will see vina again. So, what are the abhyayas that go with Dvitiya Vibhakti? Prati, abhitaha, paritaha, ubhayataha, vina. Abdingarad. Only with Dvitiya Vibhakti they will go. These are some of the rules. They have given other rules. Extra 2 rules are there, I think. We will cover that when we finish other Vibhaktis also, so we can understand better. Alright, we will see in the next video. Ram Ram.